Kia ora, New Zealand. It's Friday afternoon, 12:30. That means it's time for Frogs on Friday and a pinch and a punch for the first day of the month. What was the other month? What was it my father used to say to me? Something about a kick in karate for being a smarty was the next thing he used to say to me after that. So, well, good afternoon. Clearly, I'm not Shannon Barlow, but my name is Mark Smith. I am Group Managing Director of Frog Recruitment in New Zealand and People to People in Australia. Shannon is still on her sabbatical, so you've got me here today, and we've got jam-packed Frogs on Friday. We've got 3 jobs that we need to fill today, so we'll go through those. We've got some really interesting numbers on filled jobs numbers, actually, from Stats New Zealand, and thanks to the ANZ for putting those together. So we'll share those with you as well. And we'll be talking to Julia Yen from our Auckland office, and she's going to be talking to us about why in this type of market it's important to use a recruitment agency. So we'll be crossing live to her. And of course, we've got the results of last week's Twitter poll, which would you know how to explain redundancy on your CV? So the results of that were very interesting. We'll share those at the end of the broadcast. But it's time now to have a look at those most recent numbers released by Stats New Zealand. So a shout out to these numbers to ANZ Research and Sharon Volner from and her Twitter feed. We should definitely pop that into the comments for you so that you can follow Sharon but she produces some really interesting information on the economy in New Zealand. We can see your comments, by the way, whilst we're here live on Facebook, LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you have any questions, please let us know straight away. So what we're looking at here is the monthly filled jobs growth over the course of the last couple of years. And last month's result was 0.3% in the growth of filled jobs. So this comes from Stats New Zealand, and it's basically the number of people in work in New Zealand. And it increased by 0.3% last month. You can see that slightly down on the month before in April, but certainly much better than the Omicron disruption. You can see that we've got pointed out in this particular graph there, and the 2020 lockdown. So it was very cool to see that the economy, particularly in regards to jobs growth, because we've just had a quarter of negative economic growth, remains relatively secure. It's stronger than certainly my expectation was as well. Let's see this on an annualized basis. So if we can move to the next graph, thanks, Jacob. Jacob is our man behind the scenes. If you want a beer with Jacob, Mount Wellington, one day he will tell me the name of the pub that he goes to so that we can get a group of people and have a flash mob at that pub in Mount Wellington. Anyway, in Auckland, here are the results. So you can see we've definitely come down from the peak in late 2021 in terms of the filled jobs and employment within New Zealand, but it's not collapsed to the sort of levels that we experienced during the GFC. And the minor, it's not what didn't feel like minor during the COVID and lockdown in 2020. It didn't feel that way. But when you see it graphically represented here, you certainly see that the market is holding up better than we expected. Let's have a look in terms of the different industries. If we move to the next one. So the dark blue line is the current level and the percentage change in those industries. The light blue line is the previous month. So you can see that there's been some movement in mining, electricity, gas, water services, positive movement I'm talking about, financial and insurance services, all on the up. The areas that we're seeing that there is still declining is accommodation and food services, arts and recreation, and education are on the decline. And there's been some pretty sharp movements from the previous month to now in areas such as when I say sharp, by the way, I don't mean to sort of declines that we've seen or the increases that we've seen in mining and electricity and gas, but declines in areas like professional services, which is particularly important to our audience, particularly at Frog Recruitment, and Also in areas such as construction have declined as well, which may be a reflection of the change in economic growth. The last graph is from a geographic point of view, and you can see the different changes here. Once again, the dark blue line is the current month, and the previous month is the light blue line. You can say it's pretty much the same, except for Hawke's Bay was on the up for sure. The Tasman was on the up as well. Here in Auckland, you can see it's pretty much exactly the same as the previous month, but a slight cooling off. And we'll find out from Julia what her impression of the market is in Auckland as well. So those are the numbers. Let's now move on, because we've got 3 jobs that we need to fill in New Zealand today. It's Fill Job Friday. So we've got 3 jobs to fill. Here's the first one. It's a junior financial analyst. It's based in East Auckland. It's paying $28 to $31 an hour, plus the 8% holiday pay. It's a temp position for 3 months with the transport division of this particular company. And what you'll be doing is collating data, analysing that data, particularly around customers and customer movements. You'll be putting that putting that data into the system, and also providing analytics on that. Ideally, you come from a freight industry background to be successful in this one. You need to talk to our consultant in Auckland, Kirsty Hennigan. You can also apply for these jobs in the links in the comments. You'll see them there. So you just click on those links and you can apply, and you can jump in and send your CV, and you could start work on Monday. Here's the next one. This one is a PA role in Wellington, paying $30 to $36 an hour. Chitra is our consultant down in Wellington looking after this particular role. It's a temp role starting ASAP. So we're looking for somebody who's provided secretarial support and general admin previously, a little bit of financial management, so like managing expenses, etc., preparing documentation such as minutes and presentations. And ideally, you've worked as a PA before. Starting immediately, start on Monday. 40 hours a week, Chitra in our in our Wellington office. Let's go to the next one, which is project administrator here in Auckland at Mount Eden, $25 an hour plus 8% holiday pay. You'll be coordinating with the support services to provide a range of admin support. You'll be facilitating key stakeholders, and also monitoring enrollments within this particular organisation. You probably have a guess about what type of organisation that is. Shavneil is the consultant you need to speak to, Shavneil at frogrecruitment.co.nz, but you'll find the link to that particular role in the comments. So jump onto those. So junior financial analyst here in Auckland, a PA role in Wellington, and a project administrator here in Auckland as well at Mount Eden. If you want to start work on Monday, jump onto those in the links in the comments and apply now. Okay, well, we have to speak to Julia Yan in Auckland about why you should use a recruitment agency. But to get us there, though, we're going to watch a quick video from Hemi, also from our Auckland team, because we have just released our P2P Post, which is a document which outlines. It's a market report which outlines changes and trends in the jobs and employment market. And most importantly, you got salary details in there. You can get it from our website and from our consultants. But let's check out this video from Hemi.
Kia ora koutou, it has finally arrived in Auckland. The P2P Post is Frog Recruitment's market report that looks at employment and salary trends for 2022, as well as an up-to-date salary table across a range of industries. The report touches on an array of insights that will be helpful for your business. It has a chapter on the Auckland and Wellington markets, as well as a chapter on job seeker expectations in 2022. This looks at what benefits employers are offering and what matters to employees, and much more. The report then breaks off into industry-specific chapters that have comprehensive salary tables and key data on important trends within that industry. For example, the chapter on supply chain looks at what percentage of the industry is looking to invest more in AI and technology. It also looks at what are the top 3 hiring industries in supply chain. Spoilers, it's transport and logistics. From next week, me and the team at Frog will be travelling across Auckland presenting copies to businesses. If you would like to receive a copy, you can get in contact and book an appointment from today.
Hey, Julia. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a little while, but it's great to see you again on Frogs on Friday. And we've got such an important topic to talk about today. Before we get into that important topic, we've got to find out what's the weather like in Auckland.
It's a bit cloudy at the moment, windy, there's no rain, so I'm very grateful for that. I am working from home today, so it's a little bit sad I can't just go out for a walk, but it's definitely not as bright as on where you are at the moment.
Oh, no, it's pretty ordinary here as well, believe me. Okay, well, let's jump into this topic about hiring internally or externally. Tell us more.
Yeah, definitely. So leading from what you've just obviously said, I'll start off with internal recruitment. I'll go through the key 3 benefits across reducing time to hire, onboarding and costs, and internal growth, where you bring in the employee engagement. So from the time frame to post the advert, when you talent source, you do the interview, the reference stage, and candidates who withdraw last minute, could be across counter offers, change of mind and ghosting, the end-to-end process does equal time. By hiring internally, you do have the benefits of pool of candidates who are already part of your company, so the time you spend finding, engaging with them is much less. In terms of onboarding and costs, internal process is less time to adjust to a new role, which means that the training process is less time frame. Internal hires means it's easier, to inform your team about job openings, word of mouth, whether it's emails, newsletters, or notice boards that's in the office. So this does factor in the costs. And on top of that, you are communicating with immediate managers that are already in the business to understand, the candidate's background, their working ethics, and their achievements to date. Internal growth is another thing when you're hiring internally, that your team can feel valued and invested, and it creates a good morale and cultural trust to enhance their engagement and retention. I guess from here, if we look at external recruitment, we're looking at fresh perspectives and increase in performance and knowledge. So fresh perspectives is beneficial for the team and the company. This can help to break old habits, explore new ideas, with the opportunity to bring in the team together to collaborate and brainstorm. Sometimes everybody has their day-to-day. It's really that you guys can group together and brainstorm new ideas. It allows you to hire a new team member with more specific skill sets, which your current team may not know or have encountered. And in addition, you can bring in that fresh perspective again, which is ideas outside of the industry. So it's like the unique ways that's followed by your competitors or, other companies that you are competing with, and understanding, what were they doing prior to their current role. And I guess, look, to sum it up, overall, there are benefits to both external and internal recruitment. And in the end of the day, it does come down to your business needs. It's always a good idea to try out different routes before putting all your eggs in one basket. However, I say if you are looking for a better possibility of identifying a fresher pool of candidates to deliver new skills, gain insight into various other aspects of other industries, I would start off with the external recruitment. And like I said, working for Frog Recruitment from an agency perspective, there's benefits across all parties. Not only do you educate each other, your clients, your candidates, and you get the opportunity to have those conversations that's more than what the job ad is and the job descriptions. And you just remove that normality of interview questions and you just focus on that human intelligence to see, look, are they the right fit for the company? And to me, those are the really important things when you work externally and with an agency.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I mean, of course, we're a little bit biased because we are a recruitment agency, and
Yeah.
we encourage people to recruit externally. But it's a bit naive not to think that you should actually consider internal recruitment. Right, there are benefits as you've outlined there for sure. And on the external front, I mean, my comment here, and I'd be interested in your thoughts on this one, Julia, is that sure, you could go external yourself out into the market. But when you use a third party like Frog Recruitment, what it means is that you get to tap networks that are invisible to you. Because although people, if you look at the job seekers out there are active job seekers who might apply to an ad, but really the best talent is in work and probably not considering an opportunity right now, and they need to be tapped on the shoulder. And that's where agencies and Frog Recruitment can actually go to market. We have connections and networks that we can expose your brand, your opportunity to that they may not have seen because they're not actually looking at job ads, for example. What's your view on that?
Yeah, I think the fact that you said that, you tap on people's shoulders that are not looking, and it's more saying, if you're not looking, you're not aware, you don't know what is happening, then, you kind of don't input your energy into, should I leave my current role? What is out there? By tapping on, from the background, from an agency's perspective, we've got the tools that we can work in the background, reach out to candidates and just have a conversation. And it brings out, like you said, that whole network. If they're not looking, that's perfectly fine. But now that you've made yourself known and let them know the market, it does increase that, because they may come back to you like in the following couple of days or week, and who knows, you might just have a role ready to go, and then you can, obviously allow the client to fulfill that role, like the role in Mount Eden that is needed for next Monday. That's a really good example.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. Right. So if you're a job seeker and you're watching this and you're thinking, you know what, I'm not really looking for a job, but you know what, I want to be tapped on the shoulder, then you should get in touch with Julia. So at least you're in our talent pools. How would they do that, Julia?
Definitely reach out for a first point of contact through an email. It'd be lovely to organize a time to chat, put you on the calendar and actually not play phone tag. Otherwise, you can give me a call on the number that's listed on the screen, or you can reach me on my work mobile, which is 022 183 2646. And I'd love to have a chat with you.
Great. Fantastic. All right. Always good to talk to you, Julia. If you have any questions, then please get in touch. We've also put the contact details in the comments there as well. Fantastic. We'll see you next time. Right. So we've got the last thing on our list today, which is the results of last week's Twitter poll, which was, would you know how to explain redundancy on your CV and during a job interview? Well, about 45% of you said, no. You know what? If I was made redundant and then got asked that question, or I had to put it on my CV, I don't know how to actually answer that. Well, my advice to you is that if you're struggling with that type of thing, definitely engage with the recruiter so that we can assist in the preparation of your CV. Before it actually hits a potential employer's inbox, then definitely get in touch with us. What about this week? Here's this week's poll. For those looking to change jobs in 2022, what is the main reason for wanting to leave? So why, if you're looking, why? So here are the options. Low pay. Well, there's no career development. There's lack of flexibility. Well, man, there are some stressful conditions where I'm actually working right now. So if that's the case, I'd like to hear what your opinion is. Jump onto our socials at Frog Recruitment on Twitter, on LinkedIn. You can actually vote in all of those different channels. And we'll release the results next week. That's it, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us again. We'll see you again same time next week, 12:30 for Frogs on Friday.